I worked in commercial real estate. I came back and did the business with him here. We built it back up. We worked 7 days a week. And eventually, to break that cycle was a really difficult process.
Absolutely.
There was a difficult decision, and it was
really going against the grain there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I had a sense of belief, and it gave me a sense of identity because it became something I always wanted to do. Walking away from a career in real estate was difficult.
There's a group of people that come through and they learn hard work, tenacity, delayed gratification, everything through the actual training journey itself. And then you get a group of people on the other side who retrospectively try to get their health back. They've given up so much to sort of, pursue their business goals.
Your health and your fitness and your mental clarity need to be positioned because the world will fill you with so much negativity all the time. You'll cop punches in the face in business more than anyone else, as I'm sure you know.
I think the skill set that you get from training is very comparable to business, even though it is different. Like, I'm really passionate about that for a lot of people purely because of the fact delayed gratification. Like, you can't buy it. You physically have to do the thing. All right, welcome Vic. Mate, thanks for coming. I know you're a bit of a busy man, so I've actually had this on my list for probably 18 months to get the podcast in, so thank you for coming, dude.
No, thank you.
Now, anyone that doesn't know Vic at home, you should. He's the owner of Muscle Republic, an absolute mecca apparel brand based here in the Northern Beaches, which is pretty cool. So before we kick off, I think we met 5 years ago, March of 2021. I went and had a look at my booking system back from the treatment days. So
Yeah.
5 years ago now.
I think we met before that. We met at J-Train training.
True, actually.
Yeah,
there was
I remember
earlier.
I was like 2018, 19, something like that before
True.
COVID. Yeah.
We had Charlie Brown floating around the gym.
I had the old CEO, yeah. And
Oh,
you
mate.
and Mrs. Jess
Yep.
would come in and love training at that gym. And it
That was a
such
good setup, wasn't it?
It was awesome.
Really
yeah.
good community there.
So I think that's where we originally met, yeah. But
Yeah.
obviously then we met through mutual friend Mel Bettini.
Absolutely. Yeah, how good's that?
The Lebanese Terminator.
Yeah, what a good guy. Was he at High Rocks yesterday?
Nah, but he's got to be one of the best humans you'll ever meet. So,
Absolutely.
he recommended me to you to help me fix my back at the time. And
Yeah.
you've done amazing things to help me along the way, so I'm very appreciative.
Mate, it's funny, those sessions that we had, I think something that stood out more so than anything else for me was you always had fitness at the forefront of everything that you've done. Like, you've come from a fitness background. I see this, like, I'm really interested to dive into this today. We're actually going to start off on your training journey because I think for a lot of people in like the founder business space, you get two people. I feel like there's a group of people that come through and they learn hard work, tenacity, delayed gratification, everything through the actual training journey itself. And then you get a group of people on the other side who retrospectively try to get their health back because they've given up so much to sort of, pursue their business goals.
Yep.
But where did you start with training?
So my training started around when I was about 15, 16.
Yeah.
So I used to love playing sport. As a kid, I played a lot of soccer, a little bit of league and union, but always loved sport. It was really big for me growing up and a lot of my friends and other community. So, but I was always a smaller frame kid who couldn't put any weight on. So
Can relate.
I went and joined.
Yeah.
I wish that was the case now. Oh my God, I can't stop putting on weight. So I joined Manly Ringer Leagues Club.
Awesome.
And I remember the guy there was really cool. He gave me a little program 3 days a week and used to follow that and go after school a few days a week. There used to be a Tony's Gym in Wattle Road in Brookfar. We
How
would go
good.
in there when I
Really?
was 17, yeah.
How
There used to be a
good's
big indoor cricket and soccer centre.
Yeah, right.
It's shut down now, but we would go there and we were doing boxing. And I remember I was doing boxing on one side with my brother, and who's my business partner now. I would have been 17. He would have been 12. He was so short, the guy had to sit down and do the pads with him. But funny enough, like, he kept going and became quite good at it. But I used to watch the guys in the weight section on the other side.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of bodybuilders in that area back then. And I was like, I want to be big like these guys, So then started like researching bodybuilding, kept training. As I said, I joined the one in Narrowena, which was the same gym.
Yeah, awesome.
And trained with this family friend of ours, Jimmy. And he sort of taught me the ropes, and we used to train with 2 or 3 of us at the time.
How good.
And I just loved the process. So
What parts of training do you think carries over into business? So I've got heaps to add to this. I think it's a big driver for me in general, but For you specifically, like training, like what does your training routine look like now versus, I suppose, what it looked like in your startup phases?
Now, because I'm so old, I just have one of those walking frames and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just sort
a
of
4-point frame.
just stumble around and try not to get injured. No, my training is sort of shifted in the last, I'd say, 3 to 4 years, where
Yeah.
it's gone to a very much a functional and fitness focus.
Yep.
Prior to that, and where I started before starting the brand, was from where I left off before, where I was training at Tony's. There were always a lot of bodybuilders coming to the gym, and Tony himself
Mm.
was actually heavily involved in the IMBA
Yeah,
Federation,
yeah.
which is now I think called ICN. So as a young guy, I would be training at the gym, and you'd see these bodybuilders come up, and he'd be coaching them.
Great culture.
Oh yeah,
Insane.
it was incredible, and I think we took it a little bit for granted, but eventually, like, there came the discussion of doing a bodybuilding comp,
Yep.
and eventually, I had like initial tries at doing it
Mm.
and never succeeded. Like 1 or 2 months in, said, "Oh, yep, this is not much. I need to go out on the weekend."
Yeah.
So discipline fell by the wayside,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I very much fell onto the bodybuilding journey. And by 2012, after hitting some sort of life challenges,
Mm.
which were all self-inflicted,
Mm.
and hitting a little bit of a rock bottom moment, I decided that I was going to actually do a bodybuilding comp.
That's awesome.
And I reached out to a friend of mine, and he helped me. And we had no idea what we were doing, but we just kept turning up every morning and day. And the focus between sort of that period of 2012 to 2014, 15
Yeah.
became very much all about bodybuilding
Awesome.
and lifting and getting stronger and bigger. And then it shifted, like I really wanted to get into more of a functional fitness
Mm.
focus. And that's where I saw a lot of the gyms sort of leaning towards that way,
Totally.
like in our area here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
massively. It's so
there's
popular at the moment, isn't it?
the
Yeah.
group training stuff,
Yeah.
and it became more of a community-based thing. So,
Yeah.
obviously I started the brand around 2013 off the back
Mm.
of the journey of doing the bodybuilding.
Mm.
And eventually we migrated into more of that functional group training stuff, which led into our community focus.
Totally. Yeah.
But in terms of where my training's at now, 2025, I found, or end of 2024, I found out I had, you were helping me at the time with my
Yeah.
back injury.
Yeah.
Didn't know I had a back injury, had a leg and arm nerve pain problem, which
Mm.
we were
Mm.
trying to resolve. And unfortunately, it was more skeletal, where I had disc issues and bone issues in my upper discs of C5, C6, and L4 and L5 eventually.
Yeah.
So I went through the journey of like 3 back surgeries.
Pretty gnarly journey to go through.
It certainly
Yeah.
was, but it taught me
Yeah.
a lot. And, like we were just talking before, 12 months on, so 12 months ago, I just finished like my last third back surgery, still struggled to tie my shoes.
Mm.
Yesterday, I completed the doubles high rocks with one of the team from work
That's
who
impressive.
rode me into
That
it.
is so impressive.
Never run 8Ks in my life, or let alone do some exercises. Definitely almost passed out a few times.
Oh, that's so impressive. Though,
But now
man.
it's more about, functional fitness and
Yeah.
health.
But I see, like, I'm up early. I'm an early riser. So I see your post in the morning. You're at the gym at like what, 4:30, 5 o'clock most
Yep.
mornings. How many days a week are you training?
I'm training 3-4 days a week.
Yep.
In the gym.
Yeah.
Trying to get into my running era, but
Yeah.
that's
Work
newfound
in
respect.
progress.
It's a work in progress, definitely. The goal was to do a half marathon, but
Yeah.
before doing a high rocks, but
Yeah.
something's happened in reverse. So I found, after doing the back surgeries again, I kind of felt like I was where I was previously
Mm.
before starting the brand, in a
Mm.
very dark place of no movement.
Yeah.
So and this is what I apply to business. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you're at this really challenging point.
Yeah.
The first thing, I reached out to James, my trainer at J Train. I reached out to him. I said, "Bro, I just need some help.
Yep.
I'm really struggling." And he said, "No problem. Come in. We'll just get
Moving.
you moving."
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
spending 15, 20 minutes on a dynamic activating warm up. I'm sweating in that more than I'm sweating during the workout.
Movement's harder than the actual training itself at some points, isn't it?
Very much. So we hit the ground running in August, very, very slowly. By November,
Mm.
we saw massive progress.
Yeah, massive. That's so
And
good.
I brought my strength back up. I brought my functionality back up.
Yeah.
And, funnily enough, my energy and mood in everything I did
Yeah.
started to shift,
Totally.
and it reflects in the business.
So yeah, like I'm a big believer in that. I think for me, a lot of the people that come to the gym here specifically as well, like we've got a younger, and then we also have an older crowd as well. And I think for a lot of people, it's like the anchor point. It's the point of stability in the life. Like life's crazy, man. You've got business, you've got family, you've got relationships, you've got all these things that are happening around you. And training seems to be for a lot of people, it's just that anchor point that like you can control. Like you put in a certain amount of effort, you get a kickback from that. It's not linear. We know that it's not linear,
Never.
but it's something that we can control. And I think in this day and age, like there's so much happening. It is such an anchor point for a lot of people that come in. But like even for myself, like when we come into training and business, like if I don't train, I feel trash. Like my
Yep.
my whole clarity around my thinking like goes away. So like there's nothing worse than being in pain. So back to it now. What, you're 5, 7 days in the gym?
Yeah, I still do 4 to 5 days in the gym.
That's awesome.
But walking a lot,
Mm,
and still trying to run a little bit. But I think that's enough for me right
yeah,
now.
perfect.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
keeps me focused. But
It's,
it is my me time.
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And like you said,
Sets
it
up your
becomes
day.
a place that builds structure around your day, around your week.
Yeah.
And I was saying before the podcast, when we were chatting, I haven't been able to train for the last 3 weeks because I was quite sick with the
Yeah.
flu.
Yeah.
I just don't know how people get up in the morning, roll out of bed, and then go straight to work,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then do that rinse and repeat. And time goes so fast.
Totally.
So I do like to get up quite early.
Totally.
I generally pray before I go to the gym. Like
Yep.
I'm big on spirituality,
Yep. Massively.
and I think you can have a physical sense of exertion and activity, but I think for internal clarity, you need to
Mm,
release that. I
mm,
use prayer. Other people might use meditation or other,
totally.
things. So, but the gym's become like my church.
Yep.
Like I love
Yep.
to go to the gym and just have that focus. And we said it yesterday. Like there was no better feeling than finishing the High Rocks yesterday
Absolutely.
and doing what we said we were going to do,
Yeah.
and proving to my team that I still show up
Mm,
for my word, and
absolutely.
and leading them in the direction we're taking the business, because I'm responsible for them.
Yeah.
So as a leader, we really need to own what we do.
Yep.
We have a lot of people watching us and relying on us.
Mm,
So it is important. Your health and your fitness and your mental clarity need to be positioned, because the world will
massive.
fill you with so much negativity all the time
Yeah.
that you'll cop punches in the face in business more than anyone else, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
But you have
Yeah.
to just work your way through them,
Totally.
and you have to keep showing up.
Totally. I think the skill set that you get from training is very comparable to business, even though it is different. Like you've got the physical work, like you can show up, you can do the work, but I feel like delayed gratification is something that like, everything's at our fingertips these days. Like,
Yeah.
there's no lack of information.
Yeah.
Like training is one of those things that like if you do well and you show up, it's like you've done that for you. You can't buy it. Like it's not a single thing that you can buy. So I'm really passionate about that for a lot of people purely because of the fact of like delayed gratification. Like you can't buy it. You physically have to do the thing
Absolutely.
and show up. But it's quite funny in my world. I've come from a powerlifting background, not always, but I've come from a powerlifting background, and even my training has evolved. And listening to your training journey as well, it's like I think at different stages of your life and your business journey, there has to be iterations of what you do to match where you're at in business. It's not that you're not training hard, it's just your priority shifts. So for me, for instance, like it's probably similar to the bodybuilding days. There's an element of selfishness there. Like you have to be really kind of like locked into that to be like, I'm going to eat, I'm going to sleep, I'm going to get, I'm not going to go out on the weekend with the boys. I'm going to lock into this period of time to get ready for my show or get ready for my
Exactly.
comp. And there was a point in time for me even where I went to open the first facility at Chroma, and I was like, am I doing the athlete thing or am I doing the business thing?
Yeah.
Which one? But the skill set from the training was directly relatable to the actual business growth, but in a different kind of way.
100%.
I feel like there was a massive carryover there between the two.
There is, there's synergies across them that are so relatable and transferable,
Mm,
that I think bodybuilders or people that love fitness and have that delayed gratification, like you say, all that structure,
Yeah.
to follow the process, to go, okay, like to tell you the truth, in August, I didn't want to go back to the gym because I felt I'd put on 8 kilos.
Yeah.
So I'm 5 foot nothing. So 8 kilos is like 50 kilos for me, man.
You feel every kilo of
Yeah.
it.
And so like, I don't want to get on a podcast because I've got 16 chins. My body's broken. And what kind of representation am I having for an activewear brand? You know,
I
and
think you've
then
done a very good job of
how
that.
do you feel about yourself?
Yeah,
You know, it means that you put that energy out to the world.
totally.
So
Yeah.
when I go to the gym or whatever I'm doing it for a sense of saying to myself, I actually believe in my word.
Absolutely.
And once I
Yeah.
trust myself, then I go, well, nothing really else matters to me. No one else's opinions,
Nope.
not the market, not the business world. Like, it's really about owning your own identity. And, you know, if you can apply the structure of training to your business, I said this on a podcast recently, that, you know, when we've got business is going to come at you in so many directions.
Yeah.
Every day, every week, every month, and
Yeah.
every season, right, is going to be different, like
Yeah,
you said.
absolutely.
But you learn about breaking down your business or your training that's relative to what is your operations part, what is your sales and marketing part, what is your for us, it's a lot of product, you know. So if you can break down and go, okay, we're at point A, but we want to get to point B, what's the process to get there?
Yeah.
Is it identifying the products we want to bring in?
Yeah.
Who do we have to find to make those products? If we're marketing in July, what are we doing in November, Black Friday?
Yeah.
Like we're making product for March at the moment.
Wow.
In 27.
27. Wow.
Yeah, you know, like and April at the moment.
You're
you know?
essentially reverse engineering the outcome.
I think that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
strategy of always it's the bodybuilding mentality. I remember said to myself in 2012, I said, oh shit, I just put it out to the world. I'm doing a bodybuilding contest. Gonna get up
There's no
there in my
going
little
back
red
now.
Speedos, man. Better make sure I own this.
Yeah.
And you had a date in September and you go, okay, it's May.
Yeah.
You know, what are we doing? What are we putting in our body for nutrition wise, supplement wise?
Yep.
What are we doing for rest? What are we doing for training? What are we doing for cardio?
Yep.
And how are we tracking that progress?
You're actually on track and you're ticking off your KPIs. Yeah.
And you just relate that to business.
Totally.
And you just go through the motions. And then
Yeah.
when you look up a year later, you go, holy shit, maybe it's 13 and a half years later. And it's not just me and my dog anymore. I got 50 people
You're up
under
to
me.
50 now in your business.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Last time we spoke, I think you were at 25.
Excuse me. Yeah,
That
we
was-
just hired about 8 people in the last few months.
Wow.
So,
Wow, impressive.
and they're incredible, man.
Yeah.
Like, should have seen them yesterday. Like, a couple of the new starters were there. And I knew when I'd come around the first corner, they would be on that section. And they had big faces, big cutout faces of us with the photos and the Instagram and stuff. And they showed up for us at 8 o'clock at night, you know.
Yeah. That
And I
must have
said-
been quite surreal.
But
you
I'm
know.
telling you, I couldn't breathe. My nose was broken. And I said, no. I you know, it just went back to, I said, I'm going to do something, so I got to do it.
100%.
I got to see it through. But I'm telling you, I didn't think I was going to get through it.
100%.
The body starts to break down.
It does massively. But like, if you like something I always say, like, I think it's actually something that at the start of business I struggled with quite a bit because I didn't know how to articulate it. But I've always said, like, I've always this thing, rehab is training, training is rehab, because the framework is exactly the same. It's just reverse engineering the outcome.
Exactly.
So if you're injured, you go, okay, well, I'm no longer looking at a performance goal and I'm looking at a movement goal. But then there's like a synergy. They blend together.
Yep.
But that is business in a nutshell. Like, where are we lacking now? Lead flow? Are we not getting enough traffic? Are we not, are we not retaining clients for long enough? Like, what's our main constraint here? How do we look at it like from a big picture? I'm so big on reverse engineering, like my whole life.
I am too.
And it's like, well, there's the landmark. Like, what are the chunks that we need to do to actually get to that point? So when you get there, it's like, yeah, no shit, we're here. Like there was never a moment of doubt that I didn't think that I was going to get here.
You got to do
You've
the
done
work.
so much work.
Yeah.
Like-
I think, but you know, if I went back to before I started the business and the bodybuilding journey,
yeah,
I fell into a period of really like this ungrateful negativity really shit energy,
Mm.
and it
Where did
was.
that come from? In what sense?
I think the world actually will give you a sense of comparison.
Mm.
And they say comparison is the theft of joy.
Yeah.
And it is, because you focus on everything that you don't have rather than
Mm.
focusing on gratitude and everything that you do have.
Yep.
Like there was a guy doing it yesterday in a wheelchair with
Yeah.
one leg,
Yeah.
and I'm like, shit, I just had the flu.
Yeah.
And I'm an old bastard. So it's like, look at this guy go,
Yeah.
and there were like some real different people from different walks of life.
Mm.
And there were people stopping, but they'd stop and they'd keep going.
Mm.
And then you say, but back then it was, why have I not got what this person's got?
Yeah.
Or why am I here, but they're there?
Mm.
So I was projecting out to the world what I didn't have,
Mm.
rather than looking back in and saying, oh, well, I do have all the resources,
Yeah.
and I do
Yeah.
have 2 hands, 2 feet, and 1 heart.
Mm.
Can I make this go?
What can I do with it?
And until I hit, what happens is if you put that energy out to the world
Yeah.
in your personal life and in your business life,
Mm.
and I would say, well, this business is here, but I'm only here. Why is that?
Mm.
I was throwing negativity out, and negativity comes back and it bounces back and it hits you twice as hard.
Massively. Yeah.
So if you bless others, you don't have to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like everything about everything, but you don't have to be negative towards it.
Totally. Yeah.
So I just, like, there's a lot of people that don't like me. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's
Yeah.
fine, like it's,
Totally.
and you're the one with the problem, not me. So if you put that out to the world's a mirror. It hits you, it hits them, and it bounces twice back.
Yeah.
What happened was, sorry,
No.
the long answer,
No.
but I got this dog, which was Charlie Brown.
Charlie, what a legend.
And it was by chance, like I was working in construction,
Mm.
and anyone that says that apparel or gyms are hard work,
Yeah.
needs to go do construction, laboring for a few months or years.
Yeah. A couple of years.
And
under
then
your belt.
that's fucking hard work,
Yeah.
getting up every
Yeah.
day and lifting formwork and
Yep.
shoveling concrete.
Weather conditions.
This was exactly what happened. So it's May, and it's freezing cold. I'm in the yard in Oxford Falls loading the truck. It's wet. And I'm just thinking, what am I doing this for? So I
Yeah,
eventually
what for?
said something has to change here.
Totally.
And I ended up going back to real estate. But I got Charlie, and what dogs give you is a sense of value.
Mm.
And if you don't instill value into yourself, you will always project negativity.
Yep.
And because if you give value to others and you put it back into yourself through your fitness and through reaching your goals or pursuing your goals, all of a sudden you start to put good into the world.
Totally.
And good comes back to you.
Mm.
It's not a linear journey.
No.
You're always
No.
going to hit roadblocks and stuff.
Yeah.
But eventually what happened is this dog taught me a sense of value and looking inwards rather than outwards. So the more I go, well, if I'm falling off track a little bit because I'm upset or something's not going my way, just go back to point A, and that's okay. I've got a sense of value because this dog needs me.
Totally.
And I have a sense of gratitude for having him in my life. And I think everything comes to you at the right time.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
he did it that in my life at that time. I wanted to make him proud, and he's become a major part of the journey of the brand and the meaning of the brand.
Yeah, that's
And
so
the
good.
true value is what I believe fitness gives people is it
Yeah.
instills value into them.
Totally.
And that's what it
Massively.
did for me.
Yeah.
So if you can instill value through people through business,
Yep.
by calling them by their first name,
Mm.
by helping them find what products they need to help. We're running around the course yesterday, and I'm thinking to myself, all of these people are here to do the same thing,
Totally.
and that's just to get to the finish line.
Yeah.
And they owned it. And someone said it on Instagram yesterday. I watched it, and she said, if you've already signed up for that ticket, you're already won. You've already done what others haven't done. And if you turn up and just go through and finish,
Yeah.
you've done it twice as much as anyone else. So you
Totally.
should be proud of yourself.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what High Rocks or these events do. It just gives them a sense of accomplishment.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
can't tell you how happy I was last night.
Oh, mate.
And the fact that I didn't care, it wasn't about the time. It was just that I could not get out of bed last week. And
That's so good.
And I'll go one step further because
Yeah.
the real meaning behind this is the lady that works for me, she's our senior garment tech, Brazilian lady.
Yeah.
She's got no family here. She came to an interview this is 18 months, nearly 2 years ago. And she said, I want to work for you. I want to work here. And I said, okay. So we ended up going through the interview process. We
Mm,
hire her. She said, okay, I
mm,
can start in September. I'm getting married on the weekend and I'll be
mm.
in on the Monday. I said,
Hey,
fair enough,
let's go.
done.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
can't tell you what culture she builds. And she treats that business more like it's her own than it's mine.
Awesome. Yeah.
But by December that year, her husband said that he couldn't breathe. And she was like, I don't know what's wrong with him, blah, blah, blah. They eventually get more and more tests done. And he had a tumor inside his rib cage that was pressing on his trachea.
Wow.
And he's 39 years old and he can't breathe because the trachea windpipe has gone from there to like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So automatically they've gone into this find
Yeah.
a solution. So it's just her and him. They're back and forth from North Shore. Me and my team, we rally around her.
Mm,
We're getting her food. She rings me and she says, "Boss, I'm so sorry." I said, "It's okay. You know, what are you sorry for?" She goes, "I just can't lose my job." I
yeah.
said, "You're not going to lose your job. Relax. You
Mm,
just do whatever you need to do. We're here to support you."
yeah. This
And
is a
we
priority.
and she would use work as an outlet to take her focus off it when he was going through chemo. And we would go sit with her at the hospital.
Mm,
And all my team rallied around her. Unfortunately, by May, he passed away.
mm,
And she said to me, I'll never forget what you did for me during that period of my life.
yeah.
So, look, we didn't do anything we wouldn't do for anyone else.
Mm,
And when she asked me to do High Rocks, she's actually used fitness as an outlet to get her life
absolutely.
back on track,
Yeah.
you
Bit
know,
of
and move
grounding
forward.
and
Because there were
yeah.
periods of time where she was
Yeah.
so consumed by the sorrow, you know,
Totally. Yeah.
of losing someone. And I know it on a different scale because when I lost Charlie, my body broke, my
Yeah.
whole life went, you
Yeah.
know.
Complete change of
And
everything.
but that's
Yeah.
just the pain of finding love is grief, you know.
Yep.
So you've got to
Yeah.
let that
You've got to
in,
have the
and
ups with the downs,
you got to have the
right?
ups
You've
and
got
the
to take
downs,
there's always an equal opposite, right?
and that's what people get stuck in the down,
Yeah.
you know. Like there's
Yeah.
always I used to
Mm.
say this thing with Charlie when I lived in Freshwater. We used to walk every morning up to Freshwater Headland,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
business was tough then, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking like 2018, 19. I was making no money, was
Yeah.
losing money, and everyone was telling me to stop. And I'd walk up there in the morning and I said to myself, if the sun comes up, we'd watch the sunrise come up.
Yeah.
So if the sun comes up, we've still got a chance. The sun comes up, we've still
Absolutely.
got a chance. We've got another day, we've got another chance, we've got another chance. And we called it Freshwater Rising. It was a collection that we did.
Awesome.
And that sense of if the sun comes up today, we're
Yeah.
good, you
We're
know?
good to go.
And it's
Yeah.
another day, you know,
Yeah.
you make a
100%.
choice on where you want to be.
It's very much a choice. Everything in life is a choice. Everything in life is a
Sorry,
choice.
I know it was a long answer. But
No, that's awesome, dude. But I think that's probably a perfect segue into how Muscle Republic started. So I know a bit of the background. 2013 it kicked off.
Yeah.
Was that officially? Like
officially, yeah.
officially, like
Yeah.
you got your branding, you got everything up and running.
1st of March. Yeah, went to Bali the New Year's before in December.
Yep.
For a trip with the boys to celebrate doing the bodybuilding
Yeah,
comp
awesome.
and celebrate the year.
Yep.
And I remember going over looking specifically for dog jumpers for Charlie. And
That's awesome. That's great.
We bought every dog jumper there could be: bat dog, super dog,
Yeah.
dinosaur dog. And one of my mates, we stopped off and got some training shirts like Bintang singlets and Chicago Bull singlets.
Yep, as you do.
And, you know,
Yep,
and
yep.
we started chatting in the car and we said, oh, we should make our own. And the boys were G'ing me up about it. So I got back and I just fell into this entrepreneurial,
Awesome.
like, just buzz, you
Yep.
know, like I'd be scribbling in my notebook and I'm doing real estate at the time. And,
Yeah.
you know, reached out to a friend of mine and I said, I'm going to call it Train for Today Gym Wear. It was my
Okay.
motto for doing my contest.
Yep.
So I had to train for today.
Show up for
There
the
is no
day.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep.
Just get it done
Love that.
today. And I said it on a podcast recently that, you know, for me in business, it's day one every day.
Yeah.
We can never rest on our laurels. We have a big Black Friday. We have a big end of financial year. Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's Monday.
What are we doing tomorrow?
What are we
Yep.
doing? Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
what people forget.
Complacency kills.
Complacency does kill.
Absolutely kills.
So
Where dreams go to die.
I agree totally. So yeah, we just sort of focused on that.
Yeah.
we were building the brands in the background. It kind of became a hobby, became a
Yeah.
passion.
Yeah.
And then by about 2015, 16, we grew out of the garage and the bedroom,
Mm.
and we moved into our first little warehouse,
Yeah.
which
Awesome.
I still take some of the team today in Old Pittwater Road. It's across from
Oh,
where we
people
are.
were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I was basically building the brand as I was, flying the plane,
Yep. Yep. So
and
you had a daytime job at that
still
point,
had a
still in
daytime
real estate.
job. I went into it full time in 2017. That was probably the most challenging period because 2017, the business went so far backwards
Yeah.
and my life went backwards because I
Mm.
had no income.
Mm.
So
Put everything on the line
I
for
put
it.
everything on the line and it started to diminish really fast.
Yeah.
And I remember I met my friend Clayton. I was doing a photo shoot at Titan Fitness in
Mm.
Coogee,
Mm.
and I became really good mates with the owner, Metz. He's a fucking character. But he's one of the most genuine people, like
Yeah.
he'll do anything for you, and he still does today.
Yeah.
We've still become the best of mates. And he rang me. I just got back from China, and he said, "Come to my gym on Sunday. I'm going to introduce you to this kid, Clayton. He's a fair bit younger than us, and he's very good at like digital marketing and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
kind of thing." And Clayton is now one of my best friends. He came and supported me last night doing high rocks,
Oh, awesome.
and we formed this bond of friendship. And he's such a unique person where he
Yeah.
just wants to help people.
Mm.
And he used to come on weekends and we would build strategies on how to build the business out.
Mm.
And I would implement them on the weekend or during the week. And like, so back then there's myself, there's a part-time marketing girl who became full-time eventually. And
Yeah.
there's a guy in the warehouse 3 days a week. And, we spoke about it before. It just became a matter of just following a process,
Totally.
learning as you go, making every mistake possible, but
Absolutely.
figuring it out along the way.
Did you have a plan going into it, or was it just full belief at that point?
There was definitely a plan,
Yeah.
but I had a sense of belief and it gave me a sense of identity because it became something I always wanted to do. Walking away
Yeah.
from a career in real estate was difficult
That's
because,
massive.
you,
Yeah.
you got your own business, you're making a lot of money in
Yep.
terms of what, is perceived to be success.
Yep.
So you're kind of running on a very traditional, like pattern of, okay, well, this is
Mm.
where my life is meant to be. My
Mm.
dad had a real estate.
Mm.
I
Yep.
worked in commercial real estate. I came back and did the business with him here. We built it back up. We worked 7 days a week and we got our lives on track again.
Yep.
And eventually, to break that cycle was a really difficult process.
Absolutely.
There was a
Yeah.
difficult decision and it was
Really going against the grain there.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I had a belief in this. So,
Yep. I think
um,
I think the thing there as well is like if you didn't do that, you would have forever
Yeah.
like had an element of like regret or
Agreed.
guilt around not living to at least trying something,
100%.
at least stepping into the unknown a little bit and going like what like I always go back to like what's the worst possible outcome. What like if everything else fails, my whole life melts down. What is the worst case scenario that can happen?
Exactly what I
The
said.
worst.
What's the worst? I go back to I go back to real estate.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
if this fails, that's okay. I
Yep.
can live with that because I've given it my all.
Mm. Mm.
And I'll go find I'll go do what I did before.
Yep.
I'll just go labor.
Yep. Totally.
Hopefully not, but like it's there's always an
There's
alternative.
always a way.
I'll go pack shelves at Coles or whatever it is, like
Totally.
there's always a way to do something as long as you can make sure that you actually, like, if you've got a dream to do your online training and your podcast and your gyms, do it. If it doesn't work out, you can go do
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
We're more than capable. So that became, the real sort of middle phase of the business as we
Yeah.
got through 2019. That was super challenging. By 2020, we just started to pick up a little bit of momentum, and then COVID hit, and everyone told me just to back off.
Yeah.
And I
Wow.
said, nah, come this far.
We're
Like
going.
we just said, we're just
Mm.
going to keep going.
Yep.
Whatever. And I just said to myself, there was this really funny part, a pinnacle moment where I said, you know what, like there's I used to love studying modern history at school.
Mm.
Wasn't very good at school, but there were certain things I liked doing.
Yeah.
And then I used to love studying the world wars, and I was really fascinated by them.
Yeah. Awesome.
And I remember that there was this thing that we learnt in class, and it was around the post had to always go during the war. You
Yeah.
know, post would go to the front line where the soldiers were and back
Mm,
home, and the
mm,
post would always pick up the post and letters and stuff. And I'm like, we're an online business doing post pretty much.
yep. Yep.
So effectively, even during this pandemic, post is always going to be going. If it's going during
Yeah.
a world war,
Yeah.
and it did, and
Absolutely.
so online business, and I backed myself in that regard, and it grew, and I could see the customer as we went through different phases of
Mm,
COVID, that it just kept coming up that they
mm,
had money and they
mm.
couldn't spend it anywhere else.
Totally.
So they were spending it on activewear.
Yeah.
So I
Awesome.
was like, let's just go harder. So I couldn't get
Ride the
enough
wave a little
product.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem was I couldn't get any money to buy the stock.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah.
like I'm borrowing money against my apartment. I'm borrowing money from like a trade finance company. I'm borrowing money from Shopify during this process. The
Yeah.
banks wouldn't give me any money,
Banks are pretty tight at that point in time,
Yeah,
weren't they?
we didn't have any
Yeah.
substantial like revenue or profit or turnover to justify to them to lend me the money.
Yeah.
So that became, a side of the business that no one sees,
Absolutely.
and a
Yeah.
risk and a high level of risk.
Huge.
But
Huge.
we
Yeah.
got through it. I always put the business first. I learned to live very modestly.
Mm,
I didn't
mm.
pay myself for many years.
Yeah.
Even when I did, it was a very modest salary. It was a
Living
lot
expenses.
less. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I learned you didn't need much to be happy.
Yeah. The
Um,
purpose of the business and the vision is probably arguably the most important thing at that point, right?
it was, and it still is, and I still
Yeah.
operate at that level.
Yeah.
Scarcity can also go the other way. Like you got to
Mm.
learn to, give yourself a little bit too.
Celebrate the wins along the way.
I get a lot more from like
Mm,
giving,
totally.
looking after people, my
Yep.
family, my friends,
Yep.
and putting them first and making sure that they're safe, they've got what they need.
Mm.
Um, but I need to start looking after myself a lot. Like I need to get another dog, that's for sure. So
Sometimes I just think I've got 3 dogs, and I just think we don't deserve you guys.
no.
We get home every day, and there is just sheer joy, happiness,
Yep.
and gratitude that you're home, and you're like, wow, you
They teach you a
guys.
lot.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's funny. I feel, especially online, I'm very much like in the online space with like business mentoring and stuff like that. I think every business owner is surrounding themselves with people that are further ahead of them than, aspirationally, even just to be in the room to have conversations. Where you at? What are you doing? I think that's even more valuable than a course or anything that you can learn online. But
Agreed.
like, it's funny because when I first started my Strength Tribe, I had no business plan. All it was just purely like, one, I wanted to solve a problem, and there was a need for what in my mind, there was a need for what I wanted to do.
Yep.
2, there was absolute commitment, and 3, it was like, what's the worst that's going to happen? What else am I going to do? Like, my background is actually cooking. I'm a chef by trade,
I remember you
right?
saying, yeah.
It's funny because I feel like a lot of people will have different iterations, and it's like, every experience that we have that leads to a point where we sort of commit to ourselves, it's all, I say to people, every experience is really important, even if it's negative,
Yep.
because it shows you what you don't want, not
Correct.
necessarily what you do want. So you go, I'll just never have that in my life again.
Yep.
So for me as a chef, when I was cooking, I felt like I was on a revolving hamster wheel. I'm like, every single day is the same. There's no progress. There's no growth in this. And
Yep.
even though I'm doing well at it, I'm moving up the ranks. I'm like, I've got nothing here. There's no end point to this,
Yep.
which was the catalyst. So I feel like for a lot of business owners, the general consensus that I've gotten is it's actually more of a personal journey.
Yep.
And a personal growth development phase than it is of anything else. And I don't think that ends, but I think for me, it was like I was craving meaning and more for myself. And
I
it was
couldn't
like,
agree more.
in whatever avenue that looked like,
They say an entrepreneur's journey is more about self-development
Yeah.
than it is about growing the business.
Mm,
And like you said before, you're on a never-ending journey in that regard, because
totally.
each phase of your business is going to require a different version of you.
Mm,
Right now, we're going through that.
mm. Well, can I unpack that a little bit?
Yeah.
So so risk tolerance is one thing. So at the start of a business, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but I feel like you've got nothing to lose, so you go all in. As your business has grown, obviously you're taking bigger risks in terms of like financial commitments. But how has your thinking changed around it? Because now you've got a team of 50 people
Yep.
that you're literally providing an income for
Yep.
day in, day out. What have you modified, and what are your, like, not necessarily frameworks, but how do you go into a decision now versus what you did at the start?
So, like you said before, when you start, all you're thinking about is the month ahead of you. We literally plan a forecast for about 2 to 3 years now.
Okay. Yeah.
And what we do is reverse engineer it. Because we're a product-based business, we have to reverse engineer every expense in the business.
Yeah.
So because real estate is a service-based business and apparel is a product-based business, there's a difference in the outlay expectations or requirements. So in terms of hitting a certain revenue target, what we have to do is I can't make that revenue if I haven't got the stock.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
I work the business very structured in terms of, or we work the business very structured from a commercial merchandising planning point of view.
Yeah.
So we have 2 planners in the business, and our head of merch, she sits right next to me. She's my right arm in the business.
Yeah.
Every decision we make is very calculated. She's very risk adverse. I'm very risk adverse.
Okay.
So is that the right way
Yeah.
to say?
Yeah.
And so
You got yin and yang.
yeah, but she'll push where she sees opportunity.
Yeah.
So what that helps you to do is you have a very structured timeline of stock payments and product design timelines that relate to our business. So like I said to you before, we are designing for March and April at the moment next year.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because the design process is a part that needs to be accounted for.
Yes.
Then there's a sampling process, then there's a production process. So production can take anywhere from 3 to 4 months.
Wow. Yeah.
And then getting the stock here.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure that I can sustainably manage the stock flow into the business for its required growth.
Yeah.
Then we obviously have wages and marketing expenses, and then your operation expenses of rent and warehousing and everything else that goes with it. You can apply them and you build a financial model that gives you clarity to make sure you're on track or falling off track, and metrics that align to that.
KPIs that kind of line up month to month around it.
And we work really closely on that. That's where we're at right now. But before, it was like, okay, spend 100 grand and then hope that 100 grand comes back.
Comes back into the back pocket.
And I was really fortunate. I met this gentleman called Paul Waddy, who was the operations manager at Shopo, which is a ladies' online fashion brand.
Yeah, awesome.
That was in 2017. Excuse me. And knowing what I didn't know and being naive enough to ask the questions that others wouldn't ask. And he was so willing to give me his time and his knowledge to teach me and auto correct me where we were going wrong. And it took about 2 years, 3 years of working with him.
Yeah.
And eventually, and our accountants, and we built a structured model. And it gives me clarity. Now, what doesn't get layered into that is creativity and risk that you apply to that, and making decisions that make no sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, emotional based decisions.
You know, my nights are spent going home and watching entrepreneurs, business podcasts, learning all the time. Excuse me.
No, you're fine, mate.
Learning where the opportunities are, and then making a call on stuff.
Totally.
And saying, this is what I think we should do as a business.
Yeah.
And if you believe in it, great. If you don't, then that's okay too.
Yeah.
But as the founder, this is where I'm leading the business. And they say a business will never outgrow its founder.
Yeah.
So I'm always on a growth journey because it's what progress gives me happiness.
Totally.
If I'm in the same place as I am this year, I can't live with myself.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the way I manage it now.
Yeah.
I'm really fortunate. I get to work with my younger brother.
Yeah.
We're yin and yang too.
Gotcha.
We work very differently. He's very structured.
We complement each other.
We complement each other.
Same sort of
We trust each other.
Yeah.
Everything goes, in the same direction in terms of we make sure that we look after each other. We challenge each other a lot too.
Absolutely.
But
have it no other way.
Yeah, and we've got some really good key staff in the business too.
Well, let's if we look at that, like you've obviously had a big change in your setup of staffing in general.
Yeah.
So I guess at the at the start levels, you're building a business. You've got your hands in everything, absolutely everything. You're doing design. You're doing digital marketing. You're reaching out to
Yeah.
people that you want to work with. As you've grown, have you gotten to certain stages where one, you've outgrown your existing model with your existing people, and then you need to bring in external people that have a different skill set that have seen bigger things?
Yeah.
Or have you ever gotten to a point where you've had to go like, we need to rework this, or we're not going to be here next year?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
We've actually experienced both.
yeah,
So the first part of that is that when we first started and when we had like a reasonable a small team
yeah,
of 6 to 7 people, which
yeah.
we had for quite a few years, is that I would go downstairs and pack the orders with them every
Mm,
morning.
mm,
I would be very heavily involved in operations and
yeah,
across all of those structures and processes and meetings. And then there was a point in the business where and at the same time, I'd be on every photo shoot. I'd be
yeah,
working with the marketing team really
mm,
closely. And then the product team existed of myself and pretty much one or two others
yeah,
for quite a few years in the middle phase of our business.
yep.
In the most recent years, what happened was, we had a thing in operations where we broke the the warehousing structure through Black Friday,
Oh,
where we had a disaster where we oversold 3,000 orders during one
wow.
period. We had to recoup, we had to refund a lot of orders, and it took 2.5 weeks to get the orders out, and I was completely broken.
Wow. Yeah, that's
So what we did
huge.
is we employed an operations manager.
Yeah.
We put this warehouse management system, PeopleVox, in place.
Mm,
We restructured our warehousing operation,
mm,
inbound, outbound, and I delegated that out to obviously my brother and the operations manager and that team.
yeah,
And we built that team out
yeah,
every time we saw a pain point. And that related to our customer service processes as well, which we're really strong in.
yeah.
We've got an amazing customer service manager who lives overseas. She's
Awesome.
been with us a while now.
Yeah.
So that was a reshaping of that part of the business.
Awesome. Yeah.
Marketing and product were the next phases that we restructured. And every part, Paul used to teach us this. Every part of your business, every growth part of your business will require a different structure.
Yeah.
So we build that as well as a financial
Mm,
model. We say, okay, well,
mm,
marketing now is broken down between organic active attention and activation.
yep.
So you have a creative team that creates all the campaigns and the creative photos and videos.
In-house
We have resources that do it externally, but we have a creative manager
who
and a team
oversees
internally.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
manages it.
Yep.
Then we have a social team. We have a partnerships team. We have an events and activations team. They relay back to managers, who relays back to a senior organic growth manager who
Yep.
reports to the CMO. We have a
Mm,
ecom manager. We have a digital marketing manager, and then a CX manager. So those 4 key pillars across the top manage the 25-person team underneath them.
it's amazing. Yeah.
And, then the product team is separated between there's planning commercials, who has a couple of people in that team. And then we have designers, we have
Mm,
production, and we have garment techs. So they manage
mm,
all the design and production of the product.
yeah.
That wasn't like that before. 2 people doing
Totally.
it before. Now there's 10, 12 in that team. And we're building juniors underneath the seniors now in the
Yes.
product team
Yeah.
to take off all the processes that
Mm,
happen day to day.
mm,
Like you said before, what are the things you used to do? Like, I don't pack the orders anymore. I just make
totally.
sure that they have all the resources. The warehouse can have 50, 60 people
Yep.
last week,
Yep.
double shifts running till 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. As you've grown, you've experienced it, you understand it. So you know what's going on in that.
Yeah,
But it's actually like you being in that role is actually then taking away from the vision of the business and where you're going over the next 3, 5, 10 years, right? For
exactly.
instance. So that's a really interesting thing that from your perspective, how do you keep yourself in your founder? Like one thing about Muscle Republic is from the outside looking in, something that there's two big things that have really stood out to me. One, you're super community driven.
Yeah,
Two, it's founder led. And I
yeah,
think those two things often don't go hand in hand. You often have big companies which at some point will kind of kill the founder out just to keep scaling,
yeah,
to scale at speed. But your business has managed to scale to this point with them intact. They're
Yep.
still growing together with the business. It's very much a community founder-led business. How do you keep yourself in the zone, be the founder, still being on top of things without being pulled out of your zone?
Yep. So I like to understand every part of the business.
Yeah.
Once I understand it enough, then I delegate or find someone that can do it a lot better than me. But I need to understand, how does HR work?
Yeah.
How does marketing work? How does digital marketing work? How does this part of the business work? I do a lot of research myself.
Yep.
I want to understand who's doing it world's best practice.
Yeah.
Who do we want to aspire to be? Or what does the combination of our socials look like in terms of where it's at now to where we want to get it to be?
Yeah.
What is the power of community?
Yeah.
How can we engage them more?
Totally.
So I stay in touch
Yes.
with a lot of every touch point in the brand. And I look at, okay, well, what is the progression plan of that in the next 12 months?
Totally.
What is the next 5 years? And if I know that I'm getting the right direction from the team as to where I see it wanting to go,
Yeah.
I just keep it on. I keep my seat as founder and say, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on.
Yeah. This is
But
my role in this.
yeah, like, where do we want to
Yeah.
get the business to? Like and just doing some recent travel to the US,
Yeah.
you can see the sheer volume of market is untapped. We got 28 million people here. There's 39 billion people in California. So like,
It's
what are we
huge.
doing? Like, are we actually? To me, like we said before, it's an entrepreneur's journey of self-development.
Yeah.
To me, to grow a business, you've got to make sure it's reaching its potential.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
its potential might be where it's at now.
Yep.
If that's
Yep.
what I wanted.
Yeah.
But I don't want that.
Totally.
I want to be the market leader.
Yeah.
And whether we're going to get there or not is anyone's guess. But
You
we're
gotta
going to do
try.
everything to get there. Exactly.
Yeah. It's an interesting journey because like everything to do with life training business is all about just like stacking up wins. You've
Yep.
got to stack up wins. So sometimes what your journey was, even if you did come in with a wild journey, it grows like a wild vision. It grows with you.
Yeah.
You start to win and you're like, okay, this is doing okay. Like, what else could we do if we pulled the right levers?
Exactly.
It's a big world out there. So I feel like people's vision of success and growth changes as they grow.
Yep.
As a business owner, as a founder, I often talk about that with even just training and rehab. Like, you'd know the same thing. It's like, I'm a details dude. I always have been. And that's actually a pitfall of mine. Like, I love the nuance and I love the details. But sometimes you've got to zoom out and just go, can we just get someone to win?
Yeah.
I just want them to win. I don't even care what it is. Even if that for them, that person is showing up and doing 3 training sessions for them a week, you've got to win, because that for them is then going to build that next step in confidence. But that's the same as business, right? Like, you get a couple of wins under your belt and you're like, well, what else can I do? What else can we push with this?
That's a really good point, because like we get a lot of highly skilled people come into the business, and sometimes they're not the right person for my business.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Totally.
Just because they're highly skilled in one part of the business doesn't mean it's relatable for my business. Because I have a vision, and if they can't make that happen, then that's okay. They're just not right for the business. It doesn't mean that they're not good at their job.
No, absolutely.
It just means that you're not aligned or connected. So it's not going to grow.
Yeah.
Whereas if they're open to my crazy ideas and they can see that I'm always right, then we're all right.
My 12 o'clock text. Well, when we first met, you would you were up at crazy hours of the night working. Is that still part of your daily workflow at the moment, or has that changed a little bit?
I'm learning to sleep.
Okay.
I'm learning to be structured in my day.
Good.
I still, like, to be honest, the last 2 weeks, I've had a few 2, 3 a.m. get up, get the laptop out, brains ticking, restructure stuff.
Yeah.
So then I'm prepared for the day.
Yes.
Unfortunately, my days can be quite consumed with meetings now.
Yeah.
Where you just don't get time. Monday, Tuesdays, even, next week, I know Monday, Tuesday, Thursday are horrendous.
Yes.
Friday, I have a lot of the Gold Coast for an event.
Yeah.
Do stuff up there, then come back. So it doesn't stop, but I kind of love the work.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like work to me.
No, absolutely.
But
I think alignment's the most important thing there. I feel like if you're in alignment, it's no longer about like, I'm working hard. Like, I'm working towards something that's got like a bigger purpose, bigger meaning.
Oh, definitely. But I mean, like, I used to go home and work all night. I'd work till 3, 4 in the morning. Because my brain was ticking.
Totally.
So rather than hold it inside and then lose it,
Yeah.
I get up and I prepare, and there's no noise at that period of the day.
Yeah.
And, I might wake up and I'll get 2 hours done between 3 and 4, 5,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then go to the gym.
Totally.
But
Yeah.
the clarity I got in 2 hours, I do 2 weeks worth of work.
Yeah. Massively.
Because my
Yeah.
brain's ticking. I'm sure your brain is too.
Totally.
But I'm like, okay, I can see now the linear line that I need to do in men's product.
Totally.
I can see
Yeah.
and I can detail that. Now I meet with my men's designer, I meet with my planner, I meet with my design and production manager.
Yeah.
I said, this is what we need to do. These are the fits, these are the fabrics,
Yeah.
this is what I want on the mix.
Mm.
And they'll be like,
It's probably
yeah,
good.
I don't really agree. And I'm like, that's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the door.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know?
To be fair, that probably really, if you zoom out a little bit, it probably means that you're right in your sweet spot. If you've got that intuition and you've got
Yeah.
that drive still happening at those hours of the morning, you're not in complacency land at that point. You're still thriving.
100%. Yeah.
Like,
And I get that. I love that energy.
totally.
And I'm like, okay, I'm still in the game.
I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
I still care.
And I still care.
Yeah.
And, if I switch off, when I stop caring is when I'll just I'll walk away from the business.
Yeah.
Or
Absolutely.
I'll pull right back.
Yep.
But I'm nearly 14 years in.
Yeah.
I still care.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I still care about every customer being serviced. This lady rang me. They find my number. I need to get a new mobile. And she rang me.
Phils.
She rang. It was like the other night, and she rang and she's like, I saw 3 missed calls that night, one at 5 in the morning. And then at 9:30, I was in a meeting yesterday and she rang again and I missed it. And I thought, I bet you this is a customer. So I ring it back and I said, oh, hello, this is Vic from Muscle Republic. Yep. I had a transaction taken out of my account last night and we didn't buy anything. And I said, okay, what have you bought from us before? My daughter has. I'm like, okay. So we go into it and I check it out and I'm like, okay, what's your daughter's name? I got 2 daughters. I'm like, okay. Anyway, I can see one daughter's bought from us 5 times. So something's happened, No problem. Do you want me to refund this? Or do you want to just check? I've checked with this daughter. She hasn't bought it. And it's come off her credit card. Okay. Do you want to check with the other daughter first? She doesn't live with me. I said, okay, well, I can cancel it. She's no, hang on, I'll ring her. So she rings her. And I can see, like, it's a normal order, There's nothing fraudulent about it, but maybe one's used the other one's credit card.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's like, she rings me back and she's like, oh, I spoke to my daughter and she did buy something and she used my daughter's credit card and she's going to refund me the money. And I was like, no problem. I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a $200 voucher.
That's awesome.
Just because she goes, oh, you don't have to do that. I said, it's okay. I really appreciate the support. And maybe you can buy something for yourself.
Yeah.
Man, you should have seen her. She was like, I've never had this experience.
So good.
But that $200 meant a lot to her
Massively.
this week. Like she felt it. She was concerned, and I'm like, I get it,
Totally.
I have to worry about millions of dollars now, I mean, but $200 is still $200. So I don't take away her sense of value. I appreciate it. So I give her more,
Totally.
so it's still, that's how much I care.
Well, I even think I often like talk to people like you used to do. I don't know if you still do them, but people would be able to rock up to the warehouse and buy stuff and you'd have sales there and stuff.
We try, but we can't anymore.
I feel like you continued that on probably way longer than not necessary, but like you probably didn't need to be doing at that point. But that was really just because you enjoyed the community. You loved everyone getting up there and, showing support and giving back to the community that is given to you.
It's fundamentally like this, right?
Yeah.
We have our warehouse and our office across the road from one of the biggest malls in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
And the fact that that person is coming to spend their hard-earned money
Totally
at our warehouse rather than go to the mall where there's hundreds of shops and want to spend their money with us, we have an obligation to give them value because they're giving us value.
Hugely.
And if you forget that on the individual level, then you lose track of the bigger picture. Because one customer becomes 10 becomes 1,000. And if you don't provide that service and you shut them out, we physically can't provide the service from the warehouse now.
Yes.
Because from an OH&S issue, they can't come through the loading dock. You can't allow that. But we need to open a retail store.
Yeah.
And we tried to recently, but we've canned that idea locally because we're moving away from here.
Got you.
But we're looking at other alternatives, but that's part of our longer term strategy.
Yeah.
But we need
some
to
pop-up stores or permanent?
Maybe both.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just not sure. But we need some form of
connection point.
You need it. Yeah,
Mm,
because that's a really good point. Like the fact that people
yeah.
would come to the warehouse and spend their money with
Yeah.
us, and like when they do come to the warehouse,
Mm,
it's not like they spend an average cart.
mm.
They spend triple the average cart.
Oh, totally.
You know,
Totally.
so
Yeah. They're supporting the brand. They're supporting the vision,
yeah,
and they're getting some cool kit out of it as well, right?
we hope so.
Yeah. So on that, in terms of where you're taking Muscle Republic, not rev targets or anything like that. What do you envision 5 years to look like, or what do you want Muscle Republic to look like in 5 years' time? Like, where's your growth, man? Where you at?
Oh, how long's a piece of string?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so where we're at right now, is a good base.
Yeah.
But we're looking to grow within the Australian New Zealand market in the
Awesome.
next 12 months,
Yeah.
significantly on a good growth level. But our major growth opportunities are in international markets,
Awesome.
and it's quite a challenging
Mm,
process on how do you get there.
yeah.
And how do you get there from a logistics point of view, but also how do
Totally.
you get there from a marketing point of view?
Yeah.
Product is there,
Yep.
and it
Yeah.
can be
Yeah.
and it can be sent, but it's not so much a logistics issue because people will buy from there now.
Yep.
But how much of a percentage of that is it is a smaller percentage than we hope for at the moment.
Yeah.
In terms of revenue growth, yeah, we're looking at some astronomical growth in the next
Great.
5 years.
As you should.
But revenue is just a byproduct of value.
Yeah, and
And
revenue by itself means nothing.
yeah, it doesn't,
Yeah,
it's
it's just in and out, in and out,
it's
in and out.
profitable, sustainable revenue growth
Yeah,
that actually is measured correctly. And we could grow by, I think we grew last year by 65%.
yeah. I think the biggest metric is optionality.
Yeah.
Like your ability to then go, hey, we need to employ this person,
Yeah.
or we want to do this pop up store somewhere here.
Well, I think I said to
Can
you
we make it
before,
work?
yeah, we hired 8 people in the
Yeah,
last few months.
yeah,
Good key people.
great.
Really excited to have them on board. Already you can see the difference.
Probably going to 10x
But
the value that they cost.
yeah, and what it's my job to do is give them a
Mm,
place to flourish
mm,
because they've worked at big companies,
big time.
but they
Yeah,
want to come and work here.
yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Because they see opportunity. They see
Massively.
opportunity in providing value in terms of like they don't come to work there just for the wage.
Mm,
They come to do amazing work.
absolutely.
They've
Yeah,
got ideas, they've got creativity, they want to be the best in their particular job title.
yeah.
They want to be recognized on LinkedIn as making a difference in a brand
Mm,
and what their platform of product operations or marketing is.
mm.
Like if you just give someone a seat and a wage,
Yeah,
they're not really
yeah.
fulfilled. But
Doesn't
if
feel
they
like they're
want to be
working towards something.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I was meeting with my creative manager yesterday, the day before.
Mm,
Vic, this is how we're going to shoot the campaign. This is the feeling I want to go for. This is the angle.
mm,
When they're talking about this, they're thinking about the end product and how it's perceived to the market.
totally.
And then they say to their family, their friends, their peers, I did that.
Yeah,
I'm just giving them the platform.
totally.
My
Totally.
designer, same thing, She's so funny, my women's designer. She's such an incredible, even my men's designer, like they're so talented, bro. They
Yep.
see design in sounds. Like they're
Yes.
just crazy
Yeah.
the way they see stuff.
Different frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we were in New York, man. We're walking through. My women's designer knew where every store was.
Wow.
Like she was like, okay, we need to go to this store. It's up on this street. I'm like, how do you remember this? New York is fucking
It's
crazy.
crazy.
I was
Yeah.
lost. I'd been there in years.
I'm glad you know where you're going.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
knew what the store was going to have. She knew the color palette.
Mm,
So I brought them there because they never got to go there when they worked for these larger companies.
yes.
And
Yeah.
I want them to feel the passion and creativity.
Mm,
And what happens is we might be sitting in a restaurant and they feel the ambience of New York. They feel the energy
absolutely.
and it makes
Yeah.
them want to do more.
Totally.
If you put
Yep.
more into your people, they're going to give you more.
Yep.
But you've got to hold them to a high expectation.
Massively.
And
Yep.
I do, and
Yep.
like I get heavily involved in stuff, but I also go, okay, if you do you believe in this color?
Mm,
Do you believe in this style?
yeah. Honest.
And
Yeah.
they're
Yes,
like,
I know. Yeah.
I do. I said,
Yep.
okay, we'll buy it.
Mm.
If it fails, your job's on the line. I just
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
if it my brother always says is, I'd rather you fail
Yeah.
and believe in what you
Totally.
were doing.
Yep.
And then it's okay, because that's how I built the business.
Totally.
I didn't know what I
Massively.
was doing. I just
Yep.
built it through having an idea. You know what's funny? I
You've
learned
probably got to extend that to your staff
you
when you
do.
start to grow
We
as well.
tell
Sorry
we
to cut
tell
you off
no,
there,
we tell
but
them.
yeah, yeah.
I had this guy that I worked for. He was it was a company called Savills, which
Mm.
is a commercial real estate
Yep. I
agency.
know Savills.
And it
Yep.
was one of my first real jobs in the city.
Yep.
And his name was David Harrison. And I remember I got the job. I was 40 grand a year. It was a lot of money to me back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Massively.
was like 2000, no, 2001.
Yeah.
And he was the best commercial agent in the city.
Mm.
He was selling like buildings worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and he would give me his time
Yeah.
because he saw how passionate I was about commercial real estate.
Mm.
And he said to me, he goes, all right, I'm selling this building.
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend you go on as the leasing agent.
Mm.
You don't worry about what the market tells you. You tell the owner what you truly believe
Yep.
is the strategy to lease it,
Mm.
what the rent should be, and how you're going to do it. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. No one knows what they're doing, Vic.
Yeah.
He goes, just have a conviction of what you believe in,
Yep.
and then go, but make it the best possible outcome for you
Yeah,
and the
totally.
owner. And I just applied that to my business. I
Mm.
made a decision. This is the direction we're going.
Yep.
This is what I'm going to call the brand. This is the product we're going to make.
Yep.
And this is how we're going to get there. And I just kept failing along the way
Yeah.
and auto correcting.
Yeah. I think
Everyone's just scared to look.
look
Sorry,
stupid in public, right?
everyone's just scared to look stupid in public.
Yeah.
I'm a real estate agent
Mm.
that went to go and be creating one of Australia's biggest activewear brands.
Yeah.
And we're predominantly female customer base.
Yeah.
And look at me. I'm a 47-year-old
That-
ethnic from the Northern Beaches
but
that
there
should
would
have no place in creating an activewear brand for women.
Yeah, but
But
you
I
had a
believe
vision.
I believe in the vision,
Yep.
the benefits of fitness,
Yep.
and what you can do and what impact business can make in the world.
And you also stepped into the unknown.
Yeah.
You stepped into it. That in itself, just doing that process of actually going, no, like I'm actually just going to step into the unknown. I'm going to fall wholeheartedly. It gives you conviction and permission to actually just take things on.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no plan B when you step into something like that.
None
It's
at
like
all.
we're all in. You know, it's something just on the founder-led journey. I think the world is changing. I'm really interested in business, founder-led growth, and the impact that that's having like to typical business structures at the moment. And I think more so than ever, people are really trying to work in close proximity. There's no longer faceless brands anymore. People want to work in proximity with the founder.
Yep.
Doesn't mean every decision goes through them, but they want to be able
Correct.
to like get access to that person, because I think that for a lot of people's careers, their creative thinking, the conversations that they have, just it 10x's what they have the ability to actually do.
Absolutely.
And in the future, I think even more so, with digital brands, it's getting harder and harder to run a physical. I think people are going to want the creative thought and proximity to the founder so they can just
Yep.
pick their brains, because, that will be a huge defining point for their business, their career, their family, their growth.
Yep.
Like, I'm a big believer in business because, I think for a lot of people, even myself, I see it as a vehicle, as growth as one, but I'm a big believer that it allows you to live a life like on your own terms,
Yep.
which I think is really important. Doesn't mean that you're not working hard and you're just sitting, sipping mojitos down on the beach or
You're
anything
working
like
twice as
that.
hard.
You're working twice as hard, but it gives you the option to work on the things that light you up.
Yep.
So I think if you now with this restructure, founder-led businesses like your own
Yep.
is actually giving a platform to people to tap into that as well. Because not everyone's going to want to own a business,
No,
but
I
they can
agree.
tap into that and they can take into future jobs or within your own business.
There's
as
no
it is now.
roadmap for apparel businesses.
Yeah.
No one would teach me how to make clothes. No one would teach me how to do digital. No one would teach me anything. I would reach out to other brands and
Yeah.
no one would help me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll just learn it myself.
Totally.
It took me a while,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
now they're asking me for advice.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck you.
yeah.
I'll take your stuff and
Yeah.
and on your way.
And we'll keep growing.
Yeah, it's like, just be like, you got to be careful where you put your energy.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think one thing to finish up for today.
Yeah.
What does success look like for you now? What is your vision of success look like?
For me, success means that we're building a forever brand.
Yep.
This is my everything. And recently I've looked at, what's important to me? Is it exiting the business? Is it taking money off the table? Is it doing, and it isn't. What drives me and what gives me fulfillment and
Mm,
success is seeing the impact that the brand makes in people's lives
mm,
and building the community that ultimately fuels the business,
mm.
providing value, making sure that we're structured for success
Yep.
and for international growth and
Yep.
for making a difference in people's lives. I know it sounds a bit hoo ha, but
No, not at all.
like we
Yeah.
met so many people on this journey last night at High Rocks, and just why they're doing it and
Yep.
how they're doing it and how
Mm,
they're bringing positivity into the world.
mm,
And to me, we want to show the world that real muscle is heart. And our mission is connect the world through the heartbeat of fitness.
mm.
And the fact that we were able to connect with so many people yesterday
Yeah.
from different walks of life, from different religions and different
Yeah.
age demographics,
Mm,
and just that we were all there with one purpose, and that was
totally.
transformation.
Yeah.
And that was for better life. That was a better quality of feeling about ourselves.
Mm,
And if we do that, then the world changes.
mm,
And if that's one thing that I can leave in this world that
yeah.
Charlie brought to me,
Mm,
and will make a difference and show the world that real muscle is heart,
yeah.
instilling value into people through our business, then that's what success looks like.
Yeah. That's awesome. No plan B.
None at all.
Mate, thank you so much for coming on today, Vic.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
it,
me.
man.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank
Love
you.
it.